Separated by cosmic cabinets, Brandon, Paul, and Logan are broadcasting Nintendo stuff live using their telepathic powers. My name's Brandon Miracle, broadcasting live from the Break Room Arcade. If you look south of me in the video version, you'll see Paul Anderson broadcasting live from the Amiibo Factory. And if you look to the right of me in the video version, you'll see Logan Welliver chewing on some nondescript items.
Granola!
Yay! Speaking of granola, if you hear my phone going a few times for the next 15 minutes, that's
it's his alarm clock.
Low.
He needs to wake up. Don't worry.
My blood sugar is low, and the granola bar I just ate will remedy that. But until then, that's just what we're dealing with.
So you're saying is granola is the source of life?
Yes. I'm also drinking out of my brand new Mythical Society chalice, an incredibly large, heavy mug, or chalice, I should say. You can hear the ice jingling in there.
It's a mug.
This is a
They
chalice.
call it a chalice because it's supposed to be mythical, but it's not actually a chalice.
But look at this thing.
The chalice with the palace has the brew that is true.
Yeah, it's still a mug. It doesn't make it a chalice. You can call it a chalice. I'm not objecting to the fact that you can just continue calling it a chalice.
You're just jealous because you don't have a chalice.
I'm jealous of
I'm gonna go get a real chalice.
Really nice.
Okay, I'm gonna get a real chalice, and you're gonna be so jealous that you're just gonna stop watching Good Mythical Morning altogether.
We'll see about that. Developed by Menware. Oh, Dream Drop Sora Santi, he's at the old Jabo. We got Conman RDW here. He's on a road trip. Where are you going, man? Let us know. I didn't even know you were out. Got Sandman in here too. We got a lot of cool stuff to talk about. Yeah, it is a full party. So did everybody get a chance to watch that Best Buy Direct?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I mean, to varying degrees. It depends on how it was compiled. But a lot of different versions of the Best Buy Direct. A lot of great things to talk about because this Direct was a little bit different, considering we don't know if all of this is actually going to happen. But because it's Best Buy and these are listings, seems pretty likely.
I mean, it's hard to call that an accident. Things that just don't like magically appear through official channels and then like it happens for a reason, you know?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of pushed us to almost a breaking point of Nintendo. When are you gonna actually talk about it? Because everybody else seems to be talking about it. Everybody else knows, but you're just not admitting to it.
So, for those who don't know what we're talking about, there's the first one. Best Buy has 3 internal SKUs and listings for upcoming Nintendo Switch games, including Persona 5, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, which I think is the most interesting one of the 3, and Metroid Prime Trilogy. It's pretty hard to refute that these are coming at this point. Because if they're internal listings on Best Buy's servers, like, I don't necessarily know how that all works, but they wouldn't do that just anticipating those announcements, would they?
Probably not. They would have to have some reason to, add them to the list, because it really doesn't make sense to add it unless they're anticipating that they're going to have to be using that information in the near future, Like, oh, okay. Get it to the retailers so that by time the game like obviously comes out, like they're ready to do pre-orders and ready to gauge interest, all that kind of stuff. Oh,
so
I was just gonna say, like, I could imagine Best Buy just doing it to light a fire under Nintendo's butt and make them make this happen. Like, someone just decided that they wanted it, so they put that out there to get people like riled up. Well, Nintendo has to do it now.
They don't have a choice anymore.
They know.
So, Metroid Prime Trilogy is one that's been rumored for a while. It's been rumored as far back as the Game Awards last year. But I think that one's just been a matter of time, to be honest. I think
Mm-hmm.
Persona 5 and A Link to the Past are the far more interesting ones. Specifically, A Link to the Past, because we've also had rumors that SNES games are coming to Nintendo Switch Online, and this would be not that. This would be an SNES game on the eShop, presumably, or as a physical release, unless it's a remake.
Right, and that's, I mean, it's a tough decision because I feel like it would be a weird decision just to release the game as like something you can purchase on the eShop, right? I mean, that's essentially like, oh yeah, we're not doing virtual console anymore. Okay, we're gonna do virtual console, you know? So I mean, we already have like a precedent for some of these other remakes, and so I think it would make sense that Nintendo would just like churn them out, right? As long as they felt like it was, you know, filling out the library and wasn't releasing when all these other games were releasing, and who knows what kind of new things they'll be trying out as well in terms of, oh, are they gonna bundle this together and it's just gonna be a pair? Obviously, they've already announced Link's Awakening, so that would be a little bit weird, but you never know. It's a
Unless it's
crazy
built
world.
in that engine.
That's kind of my thought.
And
is that
yeah,
they would
I
build in
mean,
the engine.
I think we're all kind of in the same place then, you know, where it's like, oh, they could just kind of make this game and have it look like the Link's Awakening remake and everybody would be okay.
So my
I mean,
prediction wasn't too far off the mark, because when Link's Awakening was first announced, I suggested the possibility that the original Legend of Zelda would be remade as well in that engine and possibly bundled with it. I'd never anticipated A Link to the Past, but that could very well happen.
I mean, isn't that one of the more beloved like early entries in the Zelda franchise?
Yep. It's Zelda
it makes
3,
sense.
and that's like the real takeoff point.
yeah. I mean, because going back and trying to play the original two Zeldas, kind of a nightmare. It's kind of a nightmare.
Well, that's why I think those first two games need to be remade, because they could stand to, you know, benefit
A little
from
love.
Yeah, from the love.
Yeah. And I mean, Nintendo's gone back and remade other, you know, games. Obviously, games that were pretty atypical. I'd really like to see a remake of the second game, honestly, just because I was like, what could they do with it? You know,
that
and
game's
how would
never
it
been remade before. The original
Right.
Legend of Zelda has been remade. It is just not an accessible game. That's
Yes.
BS, The Legend of Zelda, the Satellaview game.
Yeah.
Which was remade in 16-bit visuals, the Link to the Past style visuals, and we just don't have access to that anymore.
Good times. I love preserving video game history.
Yeah, pretty much all the games from that era are missing. I think they're like recreated. Like,
Wait,
ROMs.
all those games are like Mario?
Yes, he's missing. Yeah, we just don't have access to any of that stuff. And like the way that those games were presented, like with live voiceover, broadcast at specific times, just like the entire experience is not there. So we're just kind of.
I think
lost
somebody
on it.
recreated it.
They did, but we like the live voiceover and the specific broadcast times, that kind of stuff is gone.
Oh, okay.
The actual experience of it is what you're saying.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I guess I'll ask you guys outright. Do you think this is a port or a remake?
I feel like I can't think. I can kind of just like at this point like hope. The listing was for A Link to the Past. But I mean that doesn't necessarily indicate like anything in particular. They could just release it as A Link to the Past without like an HD thrown
That's what they're
on
doing
there.
with Link's Awakening.
Right. So I mean it's kind of ambiguous. I would hope that it would just be a remake in the style, like they were just building both of these games at the same time. Yeah.
Hear me out. Just
Go
an
for it.
HD upgrade with a $60 price tag. Like still the sprites, like still the original art. Just take the version on the SNES Mini
That's
and
classic.
just slap it on a cartridge with a $6 price tag.
It's
I would
Super
still
Mario
pay for it,
All-Stars
you know?
all over again.
I mean, I'm hoping
actually, no,
same...
that sounds preferable. Because like I don't like games that I can't pay like $60 for. Like, what's the point of paying less than $60 for a game? Heck, I might as well start paying $120 for these games because that
Now
just automatically makes them bigger. Like, screw, like, you know, having money when I could just like literally throw it, you know, into a burning pile, and then get less from it. Like, that's where I'm at. Like, I think that's the real bread and butter.
So Persona 5. That's something that we have been anticipating for a while.
I'll play it again. I got 120 hours to burn.
Good luck. That's all I can say. So Atlas is making an announcement on April 25th. They have a teaser website called P5S, which could be Persona 5 Switch. There's also a rumor that it's actually the Persona 5 fighting game.
And that's coming to Switch. Because we don't actually need Persona 5 on it. Just like all the spin-offs and other like side games.
Persona 5 Kart. That's what we're getting.
I'd play it, honestly.
Yes.
Playing as the what were they called? The Personas? Just driving carts. I'm into that, actually.
So yeah, I feel like Persona 5 is just one thing that's waiting to happen. Whether or not it's Persona 5 the Royal or it's just the original Persona 5, that's, you know, still debatable. But at least we have a hard date when we know we're going to know something. So April 25th for that. I imagine Joker will either have come out by then or be releasing that day for Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, they initially were saying April, and then they removed that off, and it's like coming soon, and like, where is it? I feel like it's only a matter of like a week or two before 3.0 just drops like that, and we get Joker. You know,
it's actually coming in May. That's why they removed the April.
No.
Just pure spite. Just push it back a month. That'll teach them.
And then Metroid Prime Trilogy.
You're canceled, Paul.
Could be coming soon. Like I said before, it was originally rumored back during the Game Awards. Obviously, Metroid Prime 4 got delayed. This could be kind of a stopgap between those two games. Yeah, and that's kind of what we're dealing with. As well as my phone.
Time to wake up, Brandon. Time to wake up.
I'm completely dying right now, so excuse me if I'm kind of lost.
Oh, no. Well, we lost our host.
Best Buy also leaked Joker's Smash Brothers render.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly. It could also just be a fan art image that they found, but if you reverse image search it on Google, you can't find it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty likely to be his render.
Thank you, Best Buy. You're the best.
Yeah, Best Buy's
in the name.
Best Buy's really pulling through for a bro. Fist pump to you, Best Buy.
Didn't like Walmart do something very similar where they kept like accidentally leaking stuff like last year?
Rage 2.
Yep, it's Best Buy's turn this year.
Yeah, they're just taking turns.
We could be the
Target next.
We could be the next. We could leak accidentally.
So the additional rumor that goes along with all of this, and I don't have it listed here, but a Nintendo Direct should be happening on April 11th, supposedly.
Wow, it's almost the 11th.
Logan, you look like you're thinking about that.
I'm thinking. I'm like taking in all your words, and I'm thinking, what can I say about this? And I think that if that's the case, then I am going to have a very good week next week, as are all of us.
It's been 2 months since the last Nintendo Direct. That was middle of February, I want to say.
Yeah.
We had the announcement of Super Mario Maker 2, Link's Awakening, Astral Chain, and some cool stuff like that. We haven't seen any Super Mario Maker 2 since then, and it comes out in June. So, in my mind, we kind of have to get a little bit of an update on that soon.
Yeah.
Ideally.
So, I think an April Direct just makes sense. It doesn't have to be anything super huge. It could be like kind of a small-time Direct leading up to E3 in June. So what do you guys think? Do you think that's plausible?
It definitely makes sense to me. Mostly because I want it, but...
I mean, again, like anything's possible, but Nintendo can be kind of erratic. Like they can be like silent for months, and then all of a sudden they're like, okay, here's everything all at once for like 2 months. But I feel like with the steadiness of the release of these characters for Smash Bros., and obviously the inevitability of some of these upcoming titles. For example, I feel like we haven't gotten like a big old blowout, for Mario Maker 2, which comes out in June?
The only blowout we've had was Andre's hour-and-a-half-long analysis of the minute-and-a-half trailer.
And it's not like there wasn't a lot of information in there.
No, there was a ton. Actually,
so there's still a ton of things to talk about. Astral Chain as another thing. Like we
got a hard release date for that.
Shout out to Dream Drop in the chat.
Astral Chain. Yeah. Well, the thing that's strange to me is A Link to the Past, Metroid Prime trilogy, and Persona 5 all in one Direct. That's kind of amazing. And I don't want to set my expectations too high.
It's my hope that, like, if that's all true and that would be the next Direct, that's not all the surprises just hitting us all at once being ruined by Best Buy. I'm hoping there's still something else in that pot.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, they're all ports and or remakes. So it's not like...
It's a Switch.
Yeah, but they're not like new games at the same time.
What they didn't reveal is that they're adding Mii costumes to Metroid Prime.
Yes! That is definitely what I thought Metroid Prime needed. I've been waiting for this. You guys do not understand. So ready.
And also you can replace Ridley's face with an emoji.
Perfect. He wasn't too big after all.
These are the upgrades we need.
Screw it, we're just getting the Emoji Movie on Switch. These are the real things. That's what we haven't figured out yet.
Did I mention I have diabetes?
Yeah,
I don't think it's hard when your blood sugar is low.
Do you have your weapon?
My weapon? What's my weapon?
Your weapon against
the dark arts?
Against diabetes?
Yeah, I took care of it, but it takes some time. It's like a 20-minute cooldown on my UI. You just can't see it.
I can't believe that. Where did you get your body? Did you go to Walmart? Did you really skip out on?
I bought it on Black Friday.
Okay, because man, that's an issue. You can't just go for the deals. You have to go for build quality.
So I can't go to the secondhand store.
No, man.
Oh man.
Also, it's a one-time purchase. The government's weird about that. They won't let you purchase another one.
I also lost my receipt, so I couldn't return it. Well, that's the intro of the show. We got some housekeeping to do. If you really like what we do here and you want to help support the show, we do have a Patreon that you can donate as little as $1 a month to. We have been talking about reformatting that. Me and Paul have come up with some ideas. We just need to enact that sometime this weekend. We'll get you the information on that. Links to the Patreon are in the description on the YouTube page. You can search us, The Break Room Arcade, if you search on Patreon, if you're listening on podcast sources. In addition to that, if you want to keep up the conversation with us, you can join our Discord server. Link to that in the YouTube description below.
Fun place.
Yeah, we chat about stuff, video games, music, TV, anime, pretty much whatever you want to do. Cereal. Yeah, we can have conversations about cereal. Serial conversations about cereal. You can also play some games with us or each other. It's just a cool hangout spot, so make sure to join that. And videos for the week. Next week will be the premiere of our brand new series, The Break Room Breakfast.
So much breakfast.
And now you can go to the Discord and talk about cereal while watching The Break Room Breakfast.
Oreo owes our life.
So what is the Break Room Breakfast? You might be...
Yeah, I was about to ask.
So
what isn't it?
The Break Room Breakfast is a casual sit-down with me and Paul here on the set where we play games that we make up. We have discussions about certain things. We eat snacks. We eat snacks in front of you, and you just eat snacks with us. I need some input, Paul.
Sorry, I was thinking about snacks because we actually need to go get more snacks for the next couple episodes.
Okay, so like I had 2 bags of veggie straws. We ate 1 bag of veggie straws, and a day later, I had only eaten a little bit out of the second bag, and it vanished.
Dude, I went and bought my own bag, and it's over halfway gone already. I did this like 2 days ago. I don't even know what happened.
Veggie straws are great. They're great. And they're super light, too. It's like, you don't feel like you're eating a ton. I think that's the problem, because you can just keep eating them.
They're so good. They're low in carb. They're low in fat. They're high in sodium.
And they're high in fun.
They're crunchy.
You can breathe
and
through
tasty.
them. Ow. They actually work as straws. Ow. Okay? They actually work as straws.
They do.
It's not advisable, but it works.
Me shoving granola down my throat is a teaser for the Break Room Breakfast. Ow.
Everybody in the chat seems pretty excited for the Break Room Breakfast. We're excited to finally premiere the Break Room Breakfast. I've been working on assets for the last couple days. We got Logan working on the...
I can't wait for you to show them to me.
Intro music.
Yeah. I should say, I dove into making like this intro music, and I ended up soliciting some help from some very talented friends of mine. So I think it turned out better than it would have, if that's the case. So
Logan, you're having your own little Break Room Breakfast over there right now.
That's what I was saying. I said this is a teaser for
okay.
Break Room Breakfast because I'm shoving granola down my throat, especially when it's like, ow.
This is the experience you can only get if you watch the video version over on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/c/The Break Room Arcade. So yeah, we will premiere the Break Room Breakfast starting next week. Don't have a hard date for that, but you can rest assured knowing that you will see it beginning next week.
Whoa.
In addition to that, actually, I think that's it. Oh, Yoshi's Crafted World. I'm working on a review for that, and I'm still debating whether or not I want to do a Let's Play series or stream it. You guys can let me know what you want. It'd be a little harder for me to stream it and record it, so I might just end up doing a Let's Play, but we'll get on that. Anyone else have any videos they're working on?
Not yet. I got a lot of Kingdom Hearts to play, and then I'll have something to talk about.
I'll probably have, I've been thinking about, and don't hold me to this, okay? This
Too late.
Is addressing the audience and you too.
Very much holding you to it.
But I've been thinking really, really hard about, like, what do I create next? Especially since, like, okay, you guys are doing the Break Room Breakfast together most of the time, and that's great. I'm like, okay, how can I kind of, like, add a little bit without just, like, doing more reviews, right? Obviously, I'll do more reviews as well. But in addition to that, like, what does that look like? And obviously, like, I really liked going way back, doing a video on Donkey Kong Country, kind of retrospective of sorts, though maybe doing something a little bit different. Yeah, something like that. And so kind of going in that direction and discussing, like, older games that I have been playing and I, like, just recently finished, and they're, like, 20 years old. So, like, I'm almost done with Ocarina of Time. I've never finished Ocarina of Time, right? So I'm like, okay, this is something I can talk about because I am enjoying myself.
Take us on that magic carpet ride.
Right. And then in addition to that, I've also been playing Final Fantasy VII.
Whoa.
So I like that was the thought process. I might just start with talking and writing about Ocarina of Time, and then we'll see what that turns into, and so on and so forth.
Getting in the way back machine with fresh eyes. I dig that.
Hopefully this is an honest promotion of a future set of videos, but that also remains to be seen. So
yeah, I think that's it for videos. We will be doing... Actually, I guess we should tease this. We've been in the midst of purchasing some new hardware. If you're watching the video version of this podcast, you'll see I have a new microphone in front of me. And you'll also notice an XLR cable. And
Whoa.
if you're in our Discord server, you would have seen pictures of our brand new audio interface, which supports up to 4 XLR inputs. And you know what that means? That means... over here on this set with a brand new set table, which we will be showing off in like a week or two, we'll be able to do in-person live shows. So basically what you can expect from like IGN, Nintendo Voice Chat, the kind of funny games cast, Easy Allies, kind of what they do. We're setting up here right here in the studio. And I'm very excited to start working on that. So just wanted to tease that because it's all I can think about. I've been thinking about it for days, and I just want to do it really, really.
You've only been thinking about it for days? Dude, I've been thinking about it since, like, forever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, though, like, this is, like, these are the goals that we have kind of set forth, kind of unspoken goals, but obviously, like, we watch a lot of the same podcasts, and we're like, oh my gosh, this would be so cool if we had, like, an even better setup. Like, obviously, like, all being in separate places, this works pretty well, but, like, ultimately, if we could just be in the same place, around the same table, with microphones, and, like, let's go.
Let's go indeed. Yeah, so I'm very excited
Move to Rockford! What? Who said that? Weird.
It's only like we've been trying to get him to move to Rockford for years. It's only been years we've been trying to get him here. Years.
We'll see where life leads me.
Try Belvedere!
So let's wrangle it back into the Nintendo news because that's what the fine folks are here for. My blood sugar's gone back up, so I can actually think straight for a little bit.
Whoa!
Dirty dangles, man. Let's go.
I don't know if that's appropriate for the show, but Masahiro Sakurai has reconfirmed at the Famitsu 2018 award show that Joker is coming to Smash Ultimate soon. We have seen a little bit of miscommunication from certain publications that I will not name here that have been saying very soon instead of soon. He said soon, not very soon. So let's just
very soon is reading too much into it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. Thanks to Monster Hunter Sakurai for letting us know that it's coming soon. I'm really excited for it.
Yeah. Thank you, Mashed Potato Samurai. Is this show just going off the rails? What is happening today?
I blame your blood sugar.
My blood sugar did play into it.
Okay. A little tiny tangent. Whenever
silly dumb.
I get better at this, right?
Dumb.
We all get better at this. As time goes on, we do it more. I get more attentive. And now I'm at the point. It's twofold. One, I'm more attentive and always looking for more snarky things to say. And two, I've been listening to a lot of Chapo Trap House, which is a comedy podcast and absolutely hysterical. And so that's been rubbing off on me as well.
Okay, so
it's because I came back from the dead.
It's that influence. Oh yeah, Paul, you did come back.
Oh, I mean that's also something like having 3 people instead of 2. It was like a world of difference. It really is.
You know what else is a world of difference?
Maybe.
Moving on to the next story. Super Smash Brothers
and
Monster Hunter World won. I will in the future. Won awards at the Famitsu 2018 award show. In fact, Sakurai won an award. He won, I think, MVP.
He earned that.
Yeah.
He definitely earned that. No one can even dispute that. That man just MVP.
Santi says Mega Laser salty fries. Kirby also won Character of the Year, and Sakurai was quite proud of that as well, even though he really doesn't do anything with Kirby
Take
anymore.
that back. Oh. I thought you were saying like Kirby doesn't really do anything.
I'm not talking about Kirby. I'm talking about Sakurai's involvement with Kirby.
I mean, it's still like, he made it.
He did.
He created the character. So, I mean, that's got to feel good for him.
That's some pride, yeah.
Many years ago, the little thing that he threw together, still chugging,
We got some more games coming to NES Online. We have Super Mario Bros. 2, the original Japanese version, the one that the one that they decided was too hard for Americans, so they didn't release here. Punch Out.
It's true. Have you ever beaten it?
I've gotten to World 8-4.
As I was saying.
So no, I
haven't. Punch Out
haven't.
is my jam.
Yep, Punch Out is coming. It is Punch Out featuring Mr. Dream, and I don't know if you follow Mike Tyson on Twitter, but
who doesn't?
He tweeted out very upset that Nintendo was making a new Punch Out that didn't have him in it. And I'm like, Mike, you're about 20 years late to the party here, bud. They removed you back a long time ago.
I mean,
no one told him, okay?
Did he really not know?
Yeah, man, dude, you ever listen to that guy talk? Like, that man has quite literally been punched out, right? Like, he's not all there anymore. I mean, when you take that much head trauma, man.
I guess so, but Tyson, buddy, it's been years.
He's kind of like he's just a very spacey individual nowadays.
But like, maybe it's time to bring him back. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I'm down.
Maybe.
I mean, if they want to throw a Punch Out on Switch and get Mike Tyson, like, heck yeah.
I mean,
Mike
it's
Tyson's
mostly
Punch
just I
Out
want to
returns.
Punch Out. But
yeah, that was super funny. And what's even funnier to me is how Twitter went with it and ran with it. They're like, oh, they're making a new Punch-Out game? Like, no, they're not. They might be, but Mike doesn't know that. He didn't know he wasn't in Punch-Out for like 20 years.
This is not the man you want to be listening to on recent Punch-Out news. He's not a credible source. Put him to the side. Retweet it because it's funny.
Everybody back to your corners. Wait for the bell to ring. Okay. So talking a little bit more about NES Online, a Hong Kong retailer, Pamphlet, this is coming from My Nintendo News. Original source is AK Family Home on Twitter. Says that at some point in the tiny fine print, it says that Nintendo eventually will stop releasing games on NES Online. Duh.
I was like, I saw this and it was in the context of like people complaining and then assuming, oh, they're just gonna end the service like eventually. Why add more games? Well, and then even in the context of like, okay, how soon are they going to end the service? I mean, it's almost an inevitability that it's going to eventually end in some form. And
you mean they're not going to develop new NES games to keep adding to it?
Yeah, eventually they're just going to like literally run out of NES games. I don't think they'll even get to that point because I think there's probably a bunch of NES games that
they're just going to port the ones that are worth it.
Right, and eventually they'll be like, okay, there's no more worthwhile ports. Okay. Then let's move on to SNES. Let's move on to N64.
That could be an aspect of that April Direct that's rumored. Maybe that's when they finally tell us, hey, SNES is on the way. And that doesn't necessarily mean that NES has to stop while they're releasing SNES. They can do it simultaneously for a while and eventually drop NES off. But come on, guys. Use some common sense. What is with all these stories being blown so out of proportion this week?
I mean, the important thing is that Punch-Out's already on the service, so what games do they even have left to add?
I'm sorry, Paul, you're wrong. They're making a new Punch-Out. You didn't follow Mike Tyson on Twitter.
I forget?
It's gonna be no.
Let me go follow him on Twitter real quick.
It's a new Punch Out. It's a new Punch Out. It looks exactly like the NES game, and it's called Mike Tyson's Punch Out 2.
2.
It's okay, guys. I'm now following Mike Tyson on Twitter.
Okay, great.
Everything's fixed.
Okay,
What's funny is that Mike Tyson's Punch Out is Punch Out 2.
Well, and then it's Mike's Punch Out Tyson 2.
Mike's Tyson Chinkin Punch Out 3. Oh my god, what is happening today?
We're following Punch Out.
We're silly dumb. It's not even
Mike Tyson. Yet. We're all following Mike Tyson on Twitter.
Yeah, it's happening now.
If you're not following Mike Tyson on Twitter, now's the time. 17 hours ago, his last tweet was #Truth shall be toad. Like a toad, and then it's a picture of Punch Out with him.
Mike, Mike, come on, man. We need to chat. It's gonna be okay, bud. Pokemon Go is making more money. $2.5 billion in revenue. That's no surprise. But it's great to see that the game is so successful. Constant revenue stream for Niantic and Nintendo and the Pokemon Company. So that's good. Ubisoft has announced that they will not be releasing any new Starlink toys. And it's kind of sad because I think Ubisoft came up with the best Toys to Life idea, and unfortunately it just came way too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
People are over it. I'm a little bummed because the toys are actually cool. Like, they are figures that I could see your kids playing with outside of actually playing the game. Because they're ships.
Just sitting there playing with the Star Fox ship.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of a bummer. But it's understandable. That's not to say that they're not going to continue to support the game, because they have been. They'll release new ships, probably only digitally. So,
yeah,
a bit of a shame, but
just like every other game ever.
Yeah.
New content digitally.
But, you know, like I said, it's a little bit of a shame, but it's just the way it is. Nintendo's E3 website is live, guys.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's it, guys. It's officially E3 season. Mm-hmm. Nintendo's live. They're talking about it a little bit here and there. What are we going to see? What are we going to do about it? I mean, there will probably be an episode in the next handful of weeks about that, considering, like, it's in June, right? It's like mid-June?
Yeah.
Okay.
June 11th through the 13th.
Cool.
June 11th would be the day Nintendo does their E3 Direct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so June 11th will be the day that Nintendo blows the lid on probably one game, like they have been for the last 4 years. We will be doing some E3 predictions here in the near future. We're going to get our good friend Roger's Base on the show again, like we did last year. Just got to schedule that with him. He's taking a trip to Japan, and I think he's coming back in May, so we'll have to work around that. But hopefully by the time that we get that going, Nintendo will have announced their plans. Now that their website is up, that tells me that they could announce their plans literally any day now. I'm hoping that they do a World Championship tournament again. That'd be super fun. Because the last one, the last one they did in, like, October, but the one before that was at E3, and they ended it with Super Mario Maker. So what better way... Don't they list the
World Champion on...
Huh?
Don't they list the World Championship on the E3 site?
They haven't announced anything for E3 yet. They just... Their website's
site's
live.
up.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, E3's happening, and then we're going to do something.
I think they will do...
Splatoon 2 World Championship 2019.
Huh?
It lists Splatoon 2 World Championship 2019.
Oh, well, that wasn't even
Super
announced.
Smash Bros.
Okay, well, good.
Did you go to the website?
Yeah, I did.
Did you scroll to the bottom of the website?
No, I guess not.
There you go.
He selectively saw what he wanted to. He's trying to maintain
that's an
the
E3
hype.
website.
Oh, but that's
Close
taking
down.
place on June 8th. So E3 won't haven't even started yet.
Cool. Nice.
They're killing it.
They are. They really are.
Okay, well, good. That said, they still haven't announced their E3 plans, so we still don't know what they're doing. But those tournaments look like they're taking place the week before E3.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at Starlink Battle for Atlas. It's only $30 for the Switch version.
If you buy it digitally, you get 100% of the content for the same price.
But then you don't get the toys.
That's the
I
decision
kind of
you
want
have
the
to make.
shit. I really want the ship, man.
You could always like buy it and then buy it digitally.
Just taking my copy of the game and trade that in.
I mean, can you buy all the other ships just online anyway? I mean, especially can you buy them for cheap?
They are the same price as they are at retail.
Okay, that doesn't make sense because you can replicate those things infinitely. Not the actual toys, but a digital version of the ship. If I wanted to have 1 million of it, all I have to do is copy and paste it.
So the last big story of the week is that Nintendo has announced that Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild will be getting Labo VR support on April 25th.
The future is now.
What?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't expect this to happen.
Yeah, no, I just don't think. I mean, I guess they're just trying to sell it, right? And if it like the extra stuff is just here's an experience, so be it. Though from the trailer, it seems like you can just play Breath of the Wild in VR.
You can play the entirety of Breath of the Wild in VR.
Yeah, but also, like, how is that going to work? So, like, obviously there's no head strap. So is it going to be like, okay, pretend this is the headset with the Switch on it, you know? Like, are you going to, like, hold on to the Joy-Cons and just, like, shove it into your face?
Yes.
And then
One
just
thing that I was
play
thinking
like
about...
this? Is that... Do I want to play like this? I mean, at the very least, the Virtual Boy had a secondary, like, controller, you know? But this, like, do I want to play like this?
I mean, you have to have these Joy-Cons attached, right? Because how else was it? Like, that's just
right.
the gyroscope. It has no other way to, like...
Alternatively,
right?
I could get back here and just kind of, like, do one of these, you know?
You just get a second set of Joy-Cons. Everything's fine.
Yeah. I mean, you know, maybe I could grab my other controller.
Well, that depends on how it functions, because the Joy-Cons attached to the headset are how the game motion tracks where you're looking.
Right.
Yeah,
so I mean, you could just leave them on there, but like, you know, it seems a little bit silly to me.
Yeah, but
definitely a thing of like if they do a Switch Pro, they'd need to like address, because this is poor decision.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could either be there or not be there, and the Labo VR set is going to exist either way. So if I have the option to participate in that experience, then so be it. Even though I might put it up to my face and decide.
I mean, at the same time, the thing's made out of cardboard. You could makeshift a strap.
Yes, you're very right. I'm
just
not
use
sure
some,
how
like,
comfortable
bungee cord and put that around the back of your head.
Oh, screw that! I'll just grab like a roll of duct tape and just go all the way around. You know,
you could also get some hot glue, and you could just make it permanent.
Yeah, dude, I don't even need to live out of VR, and if I just need to see, I just pop the Switch out.
Whoa.
Mooseman says, I unfortunately own 3 left Joy-Con and 1 right Joy-Con, so using 2 sets of VR wouldn't work for me. How did you end up with that configuration?
There's a story
curious.
there, and you need to tell us, please.
So the Super Mario Odyssey content is 3 mini missions. That's how they describe it, where the camera is it's set in a fixed position, and you can watch Mario in kind of like a diorama fashion and control him. So really not that exciting compared to Breath of the Wild.
Though that being said, that kind of experience to me makes a lot more sense than just throwing the game in there, you know?
Here's the thing. Like, I don't think just setting the camera in one position and then playing Mario Odyssey the way you would normally is that much more enticing than just playing Breath of the Wild in 3D.
Well, I mean, that's really what it is. It's not really VR. It's just 3D.
Where
have we
gotten that from Nintendo before?
Wait, what do you... No, I mean, but, like, the context is different. The context is different in the sense that, like, if you're in the Vive, like, you're generally in first person, and you have, obviously, full motion controls, whereas this is... You know, just like as a different camera control, and then also being able to send separate images to each eye.
Basically, it's playing 3DS on your Switch.
That's kind of how I've been viewing it, like,
in a way.
Because, like,
but I mean, your head's able to move, and the image goes with you.
Yes.
So it's like the new Nintendo 3DS.
Its closest explanation. You could probably just compare it to the original Oculus, because you're sitting in one place, you're moving your head around, and the camera moves with you. That's pretty much what it is. It uses the Joy-Cons to track your movement. So it's not going to be super versatile, but it's also not going to be, you know, bad. You could compare it to, like, Google Cardboard, probably. Because the functionality is actually just exactly the same to Google Cardboard.
Right. This is Nintendo's Google Cardboard. Who knew we'd be getting Nintendo VR so soon?
Now, just because they announced Super Mario Odyssey content, and the content is new for Odyssey, and Breath of the Wild is just playing the game in VR. But the reason I bring that up is that Metroid Prime Trilogy is a game that we've had rumored for the last 4 months and haven't heard anything about. My suggestion is that this is going to be a VR-compatible game, and they've been waiting to reveal it so that they could reveal that functionality alongside it.
I'm into that idea. I really, really want that, and I'd pay a lot of money for it.
You'd only have to pay $40 plus the other $60 for the game.
Certainly does make the experience pretty accessible, especially compared to other headsets and constraints on the market right now.
Yeah, that PlayStation VR is just so expensive.
I mean, that's like, you know, 200 plus 300, that's still 500. At least with the Switch, you get the Switch and an extra $100 for the game. That's even a little bit less, even though obviously it's not quite. But then even if you're doing PlayStation VR, you're gonna have to spend an extra money for games anyway. I mean, I think ultimately I'm just down for more VR, even if it's like smaller, less intensive experiences. Like, I'm not gonna say no.
And I don't think the Metroid Prime trilogy is going to be that intensive in a, you know, it's not going to be pushing the Switch to its limits, especially if it's just a port.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, I would hope that they would make it pretty. I feel like they've had time, but who knows?
And then in addition to that, I think they could add the VR support to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but add a first-person mode to that. Because Mario Kart 7 on 3DS had a first-person mode.
Yeah. I'd be down with that. That sounds like it'd be fun. And then I could actually see myself holding it there for like a race, you know? I'm a fan.
So you're only going to get to play for about 2.5 hours before you have to put your Switch on the dock and charge it.
This is true.
This is why the Switch Pro is much needed, because battery life will be one of the things they improve in that thing.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even.
Didn't the original 3DS have like a 3-hour battery life?
Yeah, it was really bad.
And then the 3DS XL had like a 9 to 10 battery life.
Well, that's an upgrade.
It was certainly.
That was 5 or 6 hours in the original.
Or maybe. I remember it being like really short.
Or
the gamepad was 3 hours.
3DS games 3 to 5 hours. DS games 5 to 8 hours. Sleep mode 3 days. XL is 3.5 to 6.5 hours for 3DS games. So it wasn't really even that much of an increase, but I mean, just having
the
that
original
little
3DS XL. What about the new 3DS XL?
That's a good question, because that information is not. Oh, here, new Nintendo 3DS. Battery power. New Nintendo 3DS 3.5 to 6 hours. New Nintendo 3DS XL 3.5 to 7 hours for 3DS games.
Wow, it was actually worse.
No, this is a little bit better. Just hardly.
Mooseman says, I would love for Nintendo to release a Virtual Boy Collector's Edition of the Labo VR. It'd be red and come with a complete collection of Virtual Boy games. That's certainly something they could do.
Yeah, I can't wait for more. Wait, what'd you say?
Add them like the online game service. So like the next isn't the SNES, it's the Virtual Boy.
Yeah, I can't wait for more black and red headaches.
They're the best.
That would be really great.
So that's pretty much all we've got for news this week. It was a bit livelier this week than it has been for like the last 2 months.
Thank you, Best Buy.
Yeah, I mean, well, even thank you, Nintendo, just because of the VR stuff as well. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to do it for this week. I think there's a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon, including E3, because we're really closing in on it. So I'm pretty excited to start talking about what we think is going to happen at E3, and hopefully that Nintendo Direct that's rumored for next week actually ends up happening, or that we get any Nintendo Direct in the month of April at all. So just got to keep looking out for that kind of stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can follow me at Babababs. You can follow Logan at LoggyDubs. You can follow Paul at Gunnysaurus, or you can follow us as a collective at Breakroom Arcade. If you want to keep up with the conversation even more, you can join our Discord server. Link to that in the description below on YouTube. If you really like what we do here, please leave a like on the video, comment, subscribe to the channel, rate us on podcast sources. That really helps us grow. And if you really, really love what we do here, we do have a link to our Patreon in the description below. You can help us by donating as little as $1 a month. We'd really appreciate that. Helps us eventually do this full time, which is the ultimate goal, because we love doing this and we want to dedicate more time to it.
We also love you.
Yeah. So look out for the Break Room Breakfast beginning next week. I think you guys are going to really like it. And just thanks for listening. We will see you guys next week on Nintendo stuff. And until then, don't break your backs. Break in the game. Sorry, I thought I was going to burp, so I slowed down. But until then, break time's over. We'll see you next time.